First, I would like to introduce Mrs. Barth. She is my mentor and acting administrator for today's IEP meeting. Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Woolsey. She is a co-worker, and she is acting as Jane Smith, mother of the student, of Joe. Okay. I am Gina Witt, and I am the acting special ed teacher. First, we'd like to start with introductions. For Jane, I'm Gina Witt. I am the special education teacher that's going to be working with Joe this year. And this is Mrs. Barth. She's the administrator in the building.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, I'd like to start the meeting off. Do you have any questions or concerns? Right off the bat. Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, just like to listen to what you have to say.
Okay. I want to give you your parents' rights. This document is also found on the NKESC website. If you ever, if it's ever misplaced or you ever need to reference it, you just click on the special education tab and it'll be there.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through the entire document with you today, but what I would like you to, some main points I'd like to go over with you is in the introduction of this, is that if you have any issues or concerns with me, and I don't answer your questions or with what's going or how Joe's progressing, there's a chain of command. I have Mr. Jimenez, he is the building principal. Kathy Kirstenbrock Osmeyer, she's the head of the special ed department in Oakley, the service center. And then, of course, here's the numbers for families together, and then the Kansas State Department of Education. So if you have any issues or concerns that we are unable to answer, okay?
Thank you.
Sure. Also, there's a handbook at the website for the Kansas State Department of Education. So if you have any other questions that you feel that you just want to peruse and look through and try and solve any problems yourself. Okay. If at any point you would like a new copy of Joe's IEP, you just contact me and we'll get one together for you, okay? Okay, I also want you to know that records are always confidential. They'll be in the special ed room in the file cabinet. They are not kept with the office cumulative score records or their records for grades or anything like that. Okay, any questions about that?
Does anyone have access to those besides the people that my child is directly working with?
The only person that has access to the file cabinet is myself and the administration. Okay. Any other questions in that concern? Kind of just go over a brief summary of this is the table of contents. It goes in depth of what is located on each page. The main things I kind of want to hit that we need to, in order to assist Joe, we need to always have your consent. Okay. If that's on, and consent is found on page 3 of your parents' rights. And I just highlighted a small section that we need your prior written consent or consent to that's for testing and for the IEP and anything that we do to help Joe. Okay. If you move, this is also we need permission from you to send Joe's records onto a new school district. Okay, that's if you ever move. Do you have any questions about your consent? Okay. On the next page, I just have that you understand that we have your consent and before we provide any services for Joe. Okay? And also for when we reevaluate him in a year.
Okay.
Okay? And I think those are the highlights. On page 7, I did want you to understand some terminology on page 7. That you might want to know that we do keep Joe's files. You'll have access to them even after Joe has graduated. We do keep those. And there's just some general terminology that you might want to just make yourself familiar with. you know, and how we might have wording on something, okay? Already discussed that. And I think you can look through this further, and if you ever have any questions about anything in this document, don't hesitate to give me a call, or, you know, or Mrs. Barth as the administrator.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I would like to move on to, we're going to hit all kinds of things in this meeting today. I don't want you to feel too overwhelmed, you know, but there's going to be a lot hit. Joe was referred to us by the RTI team, and so we went ahead and tested him with your permission, but we want you to know what we tested him for and understand that we didn't feel that we needed to test in the areas of health and motor ability, vision or hearing. The nurse tests vision, hearing at the beginning of the school year, and everything was good. We did want to test for behavior because of some instances that Joe had on the playground and during recess. So we did a test for that, his academic performance and general intelligence. Okay. He was staffed out of speech, so we didn't test for that because we don't have he showed a sufficient progress in speech at the end of last year, so he was staffed out of that. Okay. And then Joe isn't 14, so he doesn't, he's not eligible for transition skills yet. When he turns 14, then we'll do a transition plan for him. Okay? Do you have any questions about this document?
So how do we do these things?
I'm going to go over his test results in just a second with you. What I do need you to sign is that you have given us permission to test, and you sign right here as his legal guardian. Okay. This is your copy. Oh wait, I need you to sign my copy. I apologize. On a highlighted area.
So this is my copy?
That is your copy also. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I said, this is the evaluation for eligibility report. This is what the testing was based on. This is the documentation we do after we test. Okay, and this kind of gives you an idea. Here's your copy of his overall general intelligence. And as it says in here, we used, the school psychologist uses this test, and in this description it explains what is average, what is kind of below average, what's above average, and Joe tested very well. His lowest grade, I want you to understand that 100 is average, okay? And so, as you can see, his verbal IQ is 99, so he's right there, and also that his full scale IQ was 99. Okay, so that was good. The only area that he was a little bit low in, as you can see, was an 85, is below average, when he scored like an 86, and that's his working memory, okay? So, do you have any questions about that form of testing in his IQ area?
So he's on track though?
He is on track for the most part. I mean, it showed that his full scale IQ was well within normal range, average range, so he's doing good. Just a few areas, and that's where we'll show you in the academic testing, the few areas of concern that we do have for Joe. Okay? And that is down here. And this is where we used the Woodcock-Johnson test. This is where we test his academic ability. Okay? I'm sorry if there's anything you'd like to add. I've kind of, by any means, always help yourself and add to the conversation. I'm very sorry.
Not a problem.
Don't mean to monopolize all the time here. On this, as you see, his basic reading score was a 76, and his reading comprehension is a 69. Composite reading was a 76, and that's the one area that we're concerned with improving for Joe. Okay, it's low average, but it's not terrible. So there's lots of room to improve, and he's willing to improve, so that's good.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On that, are you saying that he reads the words, he has what I would consider word recall, but might have more difficulty understanding what it's actually saying?
Yeah, and he has, yes, he has difficulty understanding what it's saying. And I think because when he's reading, he doesn't get the chunks, you know, so when he pronounces them, it doesn't come out the way he quite understands the word to be. So he kind of has a misinterpretation of what the word is meaning. Okay. Does that answer the question? Okay. Okay. And so, like I said, that's the area that we're focusing on for Joe right now is his reading and his reading comprehension. And if you look down here with his writing skills, it says his basic writing is a 77%, written expression is an 81, and his composite writing was a 77. Once again, fell in the low average, but you know, probably to put it in perspective, he's probably only a grade and a half below his peers. So
you think that's significant, that he's just a year and a half?
We do, because, well, and there, except for there is certain areas that, that he is probably 2 years behind in like the reading comprehension, and that would be because he has difficulties with the chunks, and he reverses letters sometimes. But like I said, you know, there's definitely room for improvement. We can work with Joe to help him.
So can we put this in his IEP or something that the teachers can take extra time with him?
Oh, certainly, certainly. And as we go through the IEP here shortly, I will discuss with you the goals that we have for Joe and working in these areas. Okay? The next page, they didn't test him for dibbles, so there won't be any testing results for that. And his speech.
What is dibbles?
It's a word chunk test, word pieces.
Okay.
Okay. For speech and language, like I said, he was staffed out at the end of last year. He had made sufficient gains in speech, and they felt that he no longer needed their services. Okay. They were working on phonemic awareness, recognizing sight words, and reversing his writings. So, once again, that's an area that we're still going to work on to improve for Joe. Okay. There were no concerns for his motor skills. It was documented that his gross motor development was advanced, so there's very little concern in that area. And then once again, for the behavior and the assessments, Joe exhibits average social skills. We are a little concerned with his, with the playground, with his fights and disputes during PE and recess, but that's also a goal that we're going to address and help Joe kind of fix it himself, so to speak. You know, how he can learn to control when he feels like there's a situation getting out of control, like he can control his own anger issues, okay? But other than that, his average scores for his social skills were within 88 to 105, so within the normal range. Okay? Do you have any questions about that?
No, but maybe some of his anger is because his dad might have gotten a divorce, so maybe that's where he's becoming angry from.
Oh, it definitely could be if you feel that's a concern, you know. And what our plan is just to help Joe realize that, you know, he's escalating in anger and helping try and find a way to de-escalate himself, you know, before it gets out of hand, which I'm sure he'll be fine. This was for basis of initial eligibility determination and what we screened, you know. And we feel that Joe would benefit from special ed services in the areas of reading and writing. He was just shade below in his reading and writing, and the RTI team felt that he would benefit from having special education services. Okay? We feel that a one-on-one interaction would be best for Joe when he feels overwhelmed or he feels like it's not where he's at right now. So, like I said, helping him realize homework completion was an area that Joe felt that he wasn't doing his best in. Math was easier than reading and writing, so with the one-on-one, we'll help him feel confident enough that his homework will be easier for him to accomplish. Okay? And sentence fluency, the chunks and words, and all that will come in together. Okay? All right. Joe's reading ability and grade fluency was about 1.8 to 2.4, okay, which is about 1.5 to 2 grades below his peers. And that is documented by the support team, like the SIT team, the RTI team, and the Title I services that Joe had been receiving. Okay? We do not think that, he's limited with English proficiency. We think that's all good. That's okay. And I don't think there's anything on there. And I just need you, if you could sign. Right here is his mother, and date it. That would be great. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions about the eligibility form?
Not right now.
Everything's good so far?
Yeah. So with this IEP, will you give me things that maybe I can work on at home with him? Or
Certainly.
some ideas, or?
I would love to work with you and we can build from that. As you'll see in the IEP here shortly, that we have set up for a parent to stay with Joe, be in the general ed classroom with Joe for 4 periods a day, or for 4 50-minute periods a day to assist him when he needs it. Okay, and then he'll come to the special ed room for 1 period a day, and that's where we'll kind of work on those chunk words and reversing and sentence structure and building paragraphs with topic sentences like that. Okay? All right. Now, are you ready for the IEP? All right. Do you have anything to add, Mrs. Barth?
It sounds like a lot of time.
A lot of time? Like in the classroom or?
Well, you said 4 periods a day for
Joe, yes. We're going to start with the reading, writing, and spelling areas, and then 1 physical education period that kind of for more supervising reasons, that if we see Joe escalating, we can kind of cue him that he's, his anger's escalating, and that maybe we can find a way for him to de-escalate. Okay? Okay. The front page is just general information, and that his area of exceptionality is learning disabled, and in the areas of reading and writing. Okay. This is a new referral, so it'll be step 1 for all of us. And how does Joe feel about this so far?
About
becoming part of the special education program?
Well, I think that he will do fine with it. He hasn't said a lot. I think he'll do fine.
Okay. I just want him to feel comfortable and confident with it, and so that's our
Will he
primary
be working
goal.
with you?
With me or someone from the special education support staff.
Okay. Well, I know he feels really comfortable with you, so.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. If you turn to the next pages, these are called the PLEP pages, and they are his present level of educational performance. Joe has some great strengths. He likes reading about cars and motorcycles. He reads with expression, He does recognize consonants and digraph sounds, short vowel sounds, and most R controlled vowels, which is a hard one to get. The R's are hard for kids, and he's got that. He likes to listen. He listens attentively to the teacher as she reads, which is good. He likes to write in cursive, which is a bonus because not many kids like to write in cursive these days. They prefer print. It's easier or faster. I'm not sure, but they prefer print. He does have his addition facts memorized to 20. with an 85 to 95%, and he enjoys geometry and symmetry. Okay? His primary weaknesses or needs would be to recognize the chunks in words, when we break the words down, to recognize little words within the bigger words, and irregular vowel sounds. That's an area that we need to work on. He does experience some reversals with his letters and his numbers.
Do you think that he could be dyslexic first?
I don't think at this point we do feel that he is dyslexic. I feel at 3rd grade there's still room that you're trying to get things straightened. It's something that we will keep an eye on because and figure out strategies to help with that. Okay? Anytime you feel there's more of a concern, please let us know. His comprehension is also an area that we're going to focus on. Inferential comprehension, which is a hard one for kids when they have to think of their own idea of what the story's leading them to. So we'll be doing strategies to help with that. With sentence structure, subject and verb agreement, and things like that. What was used for this was, the Woodcock-Johnson, once again, and the psychological testing, and then from observations and teacher reports. Okay? In this column over here is how we're going to help Joe with these areas. Okay? He will receive support from the resource room 1 period a day for 50 minutes, and that's where we'll work on his goals and improving the areas that he needs. 5 days a week for the next 37 instructional weeks. Joe will also receive support from special education staff during the school day for 200 minutes. And how that breaks down is there's like 50-minute sections of reading and writing and then spelling. And then the 1 50-minute session for physical education. Once again, for behavior. And that will be 5 times a week, and that's for the next 37 instructional weeks also. Do you have any questions about this section?
So a pair will be with him throughout each hour?
For about half a day.
Okay.
That's what it would amount to. It would be about half a day, school day.
Okay.
Okay.
So he will be in the regular class with his regular ed teacher?
Yes. Yes, he will. He will be in the general education class. Inclusion is important. Okay. And social emotional status. It's clear down here at the bottom. It kind of just printed off a line. Joe exhibits average social skills. Standard scores are within the average range. Okay. There you go. In communication, 92, cooperation, 89, assertion, 105. So he asserts himself very well. Responsibility, that's important. Empathy, engagement, self-control, and full social skills is an 89. Okay. And hyperactivity and attention was 93, so falls within that average range. Okay. I see that Joe walks to and from school with a friend, and he's responsible for his younger sibling to walk home with, so that's nice. I do want to compliment Joe. He's received several Caught Doing the Right Thing awards, and he loves helping the teacher.
That's great.
So yeah, wonderful, loving young boy, and just can't wait to see as he flourishes. The need is the acting out during recess and physical education. That would be the concern that we have, and we don't want that to escalate where he gets in trouble more. So,
is this something I need to take him to the doctor about? Do you think that he needs medication, or?
I don't think, the number of times, it's happened 5 times in the past year. So I don't think that it's an overwhelming concern, but I did put it as a goal just because, when you act out, it interferes with your socialization with your peers and with your classwork if you're in school suspension or out of school suspension. And I don't want it to get out of hand. I want him to learn how to control it now.
So if we see progress, then maybe that will be an issue.
Right. I mean, I just want him to realize that, that he has the ability to control those feelings and actions.
Also, from what you're saying is with his behavior, it sounds like that's the unstructured time.
Right.
PE, recess, there's not as much structures in the classroom. It doesn't sound, he's never been sent for in-classroom behavior, misbehavior. It's all in some of that unstructured.
So maybe, and depending on the situation and, his peers, there's something that's stimulating his aggression. So those are the areas in an unstructured setting that we would like to, kind of get a hold of for him. Yeah. Because I think in the long run, based on how he behaves in the classroom and how he likes to help teachers, I think, there's something that's stimulating it, and I'd like to just know that he knows that he can control it. His physical well-being, Joe appears to be very healthy, passed his vision hearing test, everything there. He's doing very well. He's excellent attendance. He's always at school. It's wonderful. So that's great. The cognitive and general intelligence, like I said, the only thing that was really below average in that area was his working memory. And that's something that we want to build on, improving. Working memory has an issue with like organizing material, focusing on lecture, completing assignments, which is one issue that Joe openly admits that he doesn't enjoy doing, and following classroom discussion. So we're also going to target that and work on building those skills during, like, assist with reading. The support staff in the classroom will assist with reading, and if he does need note taking, or if he needs, more, when it gets to the level that he doesn't feel comfortable doing, the support staff will step in and help him through it, understand what they're asking and things like that. That's what their job is.
He'll be responsible for.
Right. He is still responsible for his homework and it being done. Okay. Joe's communication skills fell within the average range, and like I said, they staffed him out of speech at the end of last year, but he had sufficient progress, so that isn't a concern for us in the general education classroom. All right. The daily living status of this section, it just shows Joe's responsibility of getting to and from school, getting his younger sibling and walking home with him, making sure he gets home safely, and that's a life skill, that's Joe's responsibility, and Joe's doing a great job. We do need to work on Joe's homework completion, so that would be the only concern or need that I feel that he has in this area, is homework completion. And that again will be kind of supervised with the support staff at school as the day proceeds.
Is there a way we can let Mom know what assignments that he has to do if he doesn't complete them during the day?
Yes.
That way there could be, she would know.
They do have a daily planner that the students keep, and that would be a good source of communication between you and us, and we could fill out the planner, or Joe could fill out the planner, and we could check off what he does have complete and what he doesn't have complete for the day.
We would just check it each night.
That would be great, and if you would initial it, then that would keep us on the same page and keep Joe a little more organized.
Okay.
It's great. His motor abilities, he showed he was advanced in his gross motor development, so there's not a concern there. His writing is the need that we need to focus on, and that's where we're going to build the sentences. Right now he's writing 5 to 7 word sentences, which is really great. We're going to build that, start building paragraphs from that with using a topic sentence, and that is also one of his goals. Once again, the support staff in the classroom will be there to assist him in his writing when he feels like it's overwhelming. They can break it down for him, and he can work it out in chunks and build from there. Okay? Joe's creative. He likes to do creative projects for class, prefers history and science. Likes to use the computer and posters and creating wonderful projects. Solving problems is the need that he would have. And that a lot of it is from his reading comprehension as he works through the word problems. And like I said, that's part of what we're going to work on improving also. All right, this section are Joe's goals for the year. So when we reevaluate him next year, you'll see the progress that Joe has made for the year. Joe's reading goal within the next 37 instructional weeks will be to improve his reading fluency by improving his recognition of chunks and words and irregular vowel sounds. Joe will improve his reading fluency to 150 words per minute with 5 or fewer errors by April of 2013, as measured by the special education staff. Okay? What Joe's baseline is right now, what he's currently working at, is he's reading at the grade equivalency of like the end of first grade to the middle of second grade. So it's about 85 words per minute. So we're going to slowly increase, as you can see from the objectives, we're going to increase in small sections, increasing the number of words he reads per minute and decreasing the number of errors he might have. Do you have any questions so far?
Is there an award system or anything that we can do that you could,
As he reaches his goals?
that-
Certainly. We can set up a calendar. We have a baseline calendar in our room that once they reach their goal, they get a star, so they see progress.
Alrighty. He would love that because he's really into crafts. So.
Good. Joe's second goal will be for writing. Like I said earlier, he will improve his writing skills by constructing well-developed sentences using capitalization and appropriate punctuation. Joe will also form complete paragraphs with a main topic sentence, 4 sentences with supporting details as documented by his special education staff. Joe is currently writing 5 to 7 word sentences, and he struggles with capitalizing and punctuation. So this is something with each objective we're going to hopefully hit all these areas. Objective 1, Joe will use appropriate capitalization and punctuation 3 out of 5 times, and that'll be by the end of the school year. Okay, so these are every quarter it'll be measured somehow. Okay, and you'll see in this area the documentation of how he's improving with the work that we're doing with him. Okay, so by the end of the next year at this time, Joe will write a topic sentence, 4 sentences of supporting details, forming complete paragraphs, and using appropriate capitalization and punctuation 5 times out of 5. Okay? Do you have any questions with this goal?
So how will you test it for that?
We'll have topic sentences or like a topic that we would like him to write about, and then he'll write an initial sentence about the topic, and then he'll look up information to find some details about it or events from his life, like name 5 things you do when you get up in the morning. And then from those 5 things, he will construct sentences based on that and then blend a paragraph together.
And we'll just see how he does from.
Right, and as we, we'll improve with each, as he improves, and that'll be documented. Okay. And finally, I did write in a behavior goal, and that Joe will improve his behavior during PE and recess. Joe will learn to control his behavior by taking himself out of the situation that's stimulating his negative behavior. And when he does this, he'll take himself to a safe area, and like I said, there will be a parent in the room that maybe can help Joe realize what he's starting to escalate. Let's go to a safe area in the special ed room. There's a room near the gym that he can go, safe area where he can de-escalate, talk himself through it, and that way he can return back to class. Okay, that's kind of the goal. And like I said, Joe's been in trouble, sent to the office, out of school suspension and school suspension the last 5 times within the last year. So like I said, it's not serious, but I'd like to get a handle on it now. That way it doesn't progress and he can realize how to control things. How I set up his objectives would be that he'll remove him when he feels himself escalating. He'll remove himself from the situation 3 out of 5 times, and that'll be by the end of May. By the end of October, at the beginning of school year, by the end of October next year, it'll be 4 out of 5 times that he'll remove himself from the situation, and then by January, he'll be able to, if he feels himself escalating, automatically pull himself aside, regroup, and put himself in a positive situation. His final goal for next year is to be in trouble less than one time, and as recorded by the special education support staff or by Mr. Jimenez's principal's report. Okay.
Now, how will the parent know whether he's making progress or not?
The IEP goals, after each quarter, we will write in whether he's made, and it's on the computer, but we will write in whether it is, whether he's accomplished his goal with a short summary explaining how he's done through the goal. And so at the end of each quarter, you will receive a copy of these goals by mail or during parent-teacher conferences, or if you come in for a visit, however you would like them, okay? Do you have any questions about this goal right here?
When he's taken out of the classroom to calm down, will someone be there to talk to him, or a counselor, or what will he do?
It will be the special education support staff will be in there with him. Okay. Okay. The next page is for assessments. Joe, this is the accommodations that Joe will be receiving. He'll be able to take the test in the resource room for a quiet environment and for extended time. That way, when he gets done, he doesn't have to rush through it. He can take his time, work himself through it. Take frequent breaks if needed. Okay, that'll be how district-wide assessments and state assessments will be handled. Do you have any questions? Okay, good. All right. This is a summary of the services that will be provided to Joe. And as you can see, there will be one 50-minute class period each day that he'll be in the resource room with us, working on his goals, on improving his goals, his reading and writing goals. And then, like I said, there will be 200 minutes, which is about 4 50-minute class periods in the general education classroom with support staff. Okay. The school psychologist will visit with them, and Johanna Mason, she's the school nurse. She will do his testing for hearing and vision at the beginning of the school year. Okay. Do you have any questions about who will be providing services for him?
If he's speaking with the counselor, will someone let me know so that I can try to help him at home and at school, with his anger or behavior problems?
Certainly, that's definitely we can send home when we'll write in his planner. We'll send notes home that you're aware of the situation. Yeah. What the school psych is mostly, she's an indirect service provider, and she is more for consultation, and it's not that she visits with him once a day. A couple days a week, she's in the building, so, it's for consultation purposes. Okay. And if he needs to go to the counselor or the office, yes, we will call home and let you know. Okay. The next few pages, next couple pages, I guess, is what type of factors or how we're going to offer services and things like that. In this section, it talks about the needs of the students were identified. Like I said, yes, as identified in the PLEPS pages and with the goals and the testing, and it kind of summarizes what type of service Joe will be receiving from us and how we're going to help him.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Just a brief summary?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then the next section talks about visual impairment, which Joe doesn't qualify. Limited English proficiency, Joe doesn't qualify for that area either.
Okay.
Special communication needs, we don't feel Joe has any special communication needs. And this final section here is if Joe is deaf or hard of hearing, which is not a concern either.
He is hard of hearing.
Aren't all children?
Yes. Hard of hearing or hard of listening? That's what more of hard of listening, I think. Joe doesn't require any specially designed adaptive physical education. his, like I said, his gross motor skills were advanced, so he doesn't need any of those things. He does not require a health care plan. Joe does not have emotional disturbance or any mental health consultation is needed. His behavior, I don't feel that he needs a behavior plan, but I just wanted to let you know that we do have a behavior goal in place for him, okay? He does not require any assistive technology, but for you, we do have books on tape if he feels like he wants to just listen to it. They're just available to him. It's not that he requires any of that. We have the iPads if he wants to. There's interactive games on the iPads, and we have things like that we can use as to assist us with Joe. You know, if there's a game on there that he would like to play or something, but it's not required to have any assistive technology.
Well, we don't have a lot of books at home. Can you send books home so that I can help them?
We do. We have a lot of books on our back wall that Joe can check out and take home and look through and read. Those are available for him anytime. He does not need any special transportation, and at this point we are not recommending extended school year. And the least restrictive environment was considered. Joe will spend most of his day in the general education classroom. You know, that's where we feel is the least restrictive environment. He will come to the resource room, like I said, we'll work on his goals and improving his reading and writing. And that's what we'll do with the resource room, those 50 minutes that he comes into us.
Okay. Will this be done discreetly, or are kids going to make fun of him or bully him because he's being pulled out of the classroom? Or?
I hope that they don't. I can't guarantee that they won't, but it will be discreet. It'll just be part of his general day.
Okay.
You know, it'll be like habit.
So there's his classroom time. We'll go
Right.
there. Okay.
Yeah. He'll be in his general education classroom. You know, like I said, all day long, minus the 50 minutes that he comes in. He'd be like,
so students really won't know.
No, it's kind of like when he went to speech or to title, and instead of going to those services, he will be coming into our room. Okay. And at this point, he doesn't require a transition plan. Okay. This is just a summary of what we're going to provide for him. You know, in the educational setting, like I said, one 50-minute class period a day will be in the resource room, and the rest will be in his general education classroom. Okay. You know, the potential harmful effects could include time away from peers during those 50-minute time pull-out times. There will be benefits of receiving the one-on-one or small group assistance, though. And we feel that that's in Joe's best interest at this point, that the one-on-one to help him get through the reading and the writing and kind of build his confidence with himself.
Okay.
And we feel that one-on-one will help him. Okay?
So is this, if he's going to this class and getting this time, is this something that we can work towards him being done with? I mean, will he not always have to go there? Is that our goal?
Yeah, that's always our goal, to staff out, for them to feel confident and to be ready to be in the regular classroom all the time. Yeah, that's always a goal of ours.
Okay.
We want him to be successful and confident.
Okay.
And and that you as a parent have the right to say, I want to terminate services at any time. Okay?
Oh, I would never do that. Not until he's ready.
Okay, great. On here, if you would please sign the form where I have it highlighted here. If you could sign it and date it, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. Now, do you have any questions? Anything else that we can set your mind at ease? Wonderful. Well, like I said, if there's any time that you have any questions or concerns, thank you very much. Any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to give us a call. I think I've sent a letter home of when my available hours are for you and just whenever. Okay. We want to get Joe going back to where he was, and keep him going and staff him out and get all that good stuff done for him.
They can act more like me instead of his dad.
There you go. Is there anything more I can do for you today?
No, thank you for meeting with me.
Thank you. Thank you.